we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
China's president, Xi Jinping, making a veiled threat against the United States, warning that his country will not be bullied by foreign adversaries, saying that any threats would be met with a, quote, Great Wall of
of other countries. At the same time, the Chinese people will never allow any foreign forces to bully, oppress, or enslave us. Anyone who dares to try to do that will have their heads bashed bloody against a great wall of steel forged by over 1.4 billion Chinese.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we had Joe Biden discussing jobs numbers like he has created jobs. Guys, we're trying to get back the ones that we lost. Also, he talks about the fourth industrial revolution without saying the fourth industrial revolution. And we know that's coming. And we have Mike Novogratz speaking of China. China has thrown everything at Bitcoin. China owns Bitcoin. If they were doing all the mining, nobody asked, how many Bitcoins do China have? Nobody asked that, guys. We know the government is mining Bitcoin. And then plus he speaks about DeFi. And guys, we know what Brian Brooks said. That's right. DeFi is definitely the new banking. We know that, yes, these companies are private, but when we look at the funding rounds, who is it coming from? That's right. Big banks, big tech. We know they sit behind the curtain, but they still run these private cryptocurrencies. Because remember, when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
They probably wish those 600,000 jobs paid $600,000 a year. But 600,000 jobs per month. We've now created over 3 million jobs since it took office. More jobs than have ever been created in the first 5 months of any presidency in modern history. Jobs plan. I was just in Wisconsin, where I highlighted how this agreement is going to pave the way for a generational investment to modernize our infrastructure, create millions of jobs according to the experts, and what will mean it won't just be in the center cities. It'll be every corner of the state and our nation. We're going to create jobs repairing roads and bridges, replacing 100% of our nation's lead water pipes, making our power grid more reliable, delivering high-speed internet to every American home, rural and urban. We're going to put people to work building a nationwide electric vehicle charging network, transitioning from diesel school buses and transit buses to electric buses, and bringing in world-class rail service to more Americans by reducing, and in the process, reduce our carbon footprint. For example, when I was up in Wisconsin, I pointed out the governor was there. I said, Gov, I know it takes, there were, I don't know how many people, a couple hundred people, I guess, in the audience. So it takes, they tell me, 4.5 hours to drive from here to Chicago. With the money we have for mass transit here, you're going to be able to do that in 2.5 hours. And all the data shows that when it's easier to get someplace by rail than by automobile, it's cheaper and it generates a whole lot less carbon footprint. We're going to create good-paying union jobs, capping hundreds of thousands of abandoned oil and gas wells to stop methane leaks, which are devastating, and to protect the health of our communities. These are good jobs. Taken together, these investments are going to position America to compete with the world and win the 21st century. Now, as we bring home key parts of my American Jobs Plan, I'm going to make a case for equally critical investments that we still need, including those in which I introduced at the same time my Americans Family Plan. When I was running for president, I put together a bold, aggressive plan to deliver child care, paid leave, universal pre-K for 3 and 4 year olds, free community college. Maybe the most important thing among them was extending the child care tax credit I just mentioned for another 5 years, which will significantly benefit middle class and working class families. That human infrastructure is as essential as our physical infrastructure. It can help us create more good jobs, ease the burden on working families, and strengthen our economy, strengthen in the long run. These investments are critical. And as the plans I put forward tackle our climate crisis, which are broad and deep, I'm going to fight to see them enacted and signed into law. We have a chance to seize this economic momentum of the first months of my administration, not just to build back, but as I've been saying, build back better.
Would have on Bitcoin, but we've seen this before, and Bitcoin has rebounded. So from your opinion, what impact do these crackdowns have on the cryptocurrency overall?
Listen, the Chinese threw everything they could at Bitcoin in lots of ways, right? They banned mining, they're banning leverage, they're banning Bitcoin in some places. And Bitcoin still exists, it survived. And in lots of ways, moving the mining out of China is going to be a big net positive for the ecosystem. And so I saw this last 3 weeks as an amazing test, an amazing successful test for Bitcoin and the whole crypto ecosystem. Listen, we had a crash, right? The Bitcoin Galaxy Crypto Index fell 65% from the highs. We didn't have the plunge protection team. We didn't have lawsuits. But the system worked how it was supposed to work. It is a very robust system that's been built in a small amount of time.
That crypto and DeFi can really start to replace some of the mainstream functions that we have on Wall Street.
Well, listen, I think gold is already being disrupted by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is already starting to replace gold. That's not the mainstream function of Wall Street. That is, where can I store value? I think DeFi is literally in its infancy, right? It's 2 years old. I can tell you that banks are very fascinated with it. They're starting to invest, to experiment, put it into a sandbox to understand it. I was on a call for an hour today with two of the bright lights in DeFi, all talking about how to work with the regulators to get people to understand. Listen, there is a huge amount of value in DeFi, right? You have instant settlement, you have bearer assets, you have the ability to create a platform that everything then innovates on, right? When we first had these iPhones, nobody thought, oh, let's put a camera on it and let's put a GPS on it. The next thing you know, we had Uber. And so the amount of innovation that's going to come out, that's being built on top of the Ethereum platform or one of these platforms, is going to blow your mind away in the next 5